Hello kids! Welcome to Bahay Aralan. For this video, we will be talking about reflexive and intensive pronouns. What do these pronouns mean? Reflexive pronouns and intensive pronouns are identical in appearance. They both take the self or selves form, as in myself, himself, herself, itself, yourself, yourselves, and themselves. However, reflexive and intensive pronouns differ in their functions. In what way? Let's have reflexive pronouns first. Reflexive pronouns are used when both the subject and the object of the sentence refer to only one or the same person or thing. When we say subject, it is the one that does the action. And when we say object, it is what receives the action. Let us have an example. I treated myself to a fancy dinner. In the sentence, the subject or the one who did the action is I, and the object of the verb is myself. If you analyze it, I and myself refer to the same person, right? It means that I did something to myself. That is why myself is used as a reflexive pronoun in the sentence. Okay, another example. The snake hides itself beneath the ground for safety. In the sentence, the subject is snake, and the object of the verb is itself. As you can notice, both the subject and the object refer to the same thing or animal, which is snake. This means that the snake does something to itself. That is why itself is a reflexive pronoun in the sentence. Is it clear? Next, the player has outdone himself today. The subject in the sentence is player, and the object of the verb is himself, and they both refer to the same person, the player. That is why in this sentence, himself is a reflexive pronoun. Is it understood? Another thing to remember about reflexive pronouns is that they are integral to the meaning of the sentence. This means that if you remove a reflexive pronoun in a sentence, the meaning of the sentence will no longer be complete. For example, the kids saw themselves in the reflection of the water. If you remove themselves in the sentence, it is now the kids saw in the reflection of the water. The sentence is incomplete, right? There is no object of the verb. Who or what did the kids see? Not mentioned. That is one way of determining if the pronoun is reflexive or not. Another example. The cat licked itself clean with its tongue. So let's try to remove the reflexive pronoun itself in the sentence. It is now the cat licked clean with its tongue. Something is missing, right? What or who did the cat lick clean? Not given. The object is missing, and so the meaning of the sentence is incomplete. Is it understood? Now let us have intensive pronouns. Intensive pronouns are used to emphasize what or who is doing the action. Unlike sentences with reflexive pronouns, the subject of the sentence is different from the object of the verb. For example, Fred played the piano himself. As you can see, the subject of the sentence is Fred, and the object of the verb is piano. Himself is not the object, meaning Fred did not play himself. It's the piano. The pronoun himself is only used to tell or emphasize that it is a remarkable thing that it was Fred who played the piano and not someone else. Okay? Another example. We built the house ourselves. In the sentence, the subject is we and the object of the verb is house. They're not the same thing, right? Ourselves here is only used to emphasize that it is worthy of mention that it was us who built the house without asking other people's help. Another thing to take note is that intensive pronouns are not integral to the meaning of the sentence, unlike reflexive pronouns. Meaning, if we remove an intensive pronoun in a sentence, it does not affect the completeness or the meaning of the sentence. For example, she made the design herself. If we remove herself in the sentence, it is now she made the design. As you can see, the sentence still makes sense. It is still complete because again, an intensive pronoun is only used for emphasis. Another example. The owners delivered the items themselves to avoid additional costs. Now, let's remove themselves. It is now, the owners delivered the items to avoid additional costs. See, the sentence still makes sense and its meaning is still complete. Is it understood? Now let us have an activity. Identify whether the pronoun used in the sentence is reflexive or intensive. First one. The surgeon will conduct the operation himself. Himself in the sentence is reflexive or intensive? It is intensive. It is not the object of the verb. It is only used to emphasize that no one else will do the operation but the surgeon. Next, you should always remind yourself of the class rules. The pronoun is reflexive. Why? Because the subject and the object of the verb refer to the same person, okay, which is you or the person you are talking to, right? Number 3, Hans convinced himself to try skydiving. The answer is reflexive. Why? Because the subject, which is Hans, and the object of the verb, which is himself, refer to only one person, Hans. Number 4, I can perform the task myself. What do you think is the answer? It is intensive. If we remove the pronoun, it becomes I can perform the task. And as you can see, the sentence is still complete. Last one. We will defend ourselves with all our strength. The answer is reflexive, because as you can notice, ourselves is the object of the verb and it refers back to the subject of the sentence, which is we. And if you analyze it, they refer to the same people, right? Alright, how was it, kids? Easy, right? That said, that would be all. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.